You've got azradio.live's Independent Artist Spotlight Show with today's guest, Calvin Rainwater, brought to you by Kirk Studio for the Performing Arts. Kirk's is the Valley's premier music studio. Call us or go to kirkstudio.com. Also by Riverton Piano. Whether you're looking for your very first piano or your last, Riverton Piano of Scottsdale and Peoria will take the time to educate you and make sure you're in the right instrument. Everything from the best in digital pianos to concert grands, Riverton Piano will help you find a family heirloom or the right starter piano. Find them online at rivertonpiano.com. Calvin Rainwater is a local country artist with a voice and writing style that moves the spirit. With his rich voice and deep lyrical style, Calvin Rainwater is making his mark in the country music scene. Ladies and gentlemen, we present to you Calvin Rainwater.
The sweet smell of jasmine, golden hair from her head, one lone floating feather on her side of the bed, and cold chills remind me that she's taken flight. A pawn slipped from her halo, written on it goodbye. And now there's only me to blame for the guilt and the shame. I chalk it up to the sins of my pride. Oh, and all the pain that it brings, knowing I clipped her wings so that she wasn't able to fly. Lord, there's just no forgiving myself, 'cause God sent me an angel and I drug her through hell. I drowned the demons that claw through my mind, and I hide in the shadows of these bright neon lights, and the whiskey reminds me of when she held me tight. I'm on the south side of heaven with no love inside, and now there's only me to blame for the guilt and the shame. I chalk it up to the sins of my pride. Oh, and all the pain that it brings, knowing I clipped her wings so that she wasn't able to fly. Lord, there's just no forgiving myself, 'cause God sent me an angel and I drug her through hell. Yes, God sent me an angel and I drug her through hell.
Calvin Rainwater on the AZ Radio Independent Artist Spotlight, sir. Well, sir, a lot has happened since you released your EP Sinners and Saints in 2017. Many write-ups and many publications, interviews in Alabama with Sherry Justice of the Beauty of Music, and you shot a video at that time.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
That was an amazing work that you've got showcased on your website.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
How long did it take to shoot that video?
You're not going to believe it when I tell you.
Well,
Sherry's an expert, first of all.
Yeah.
When it comes to knowing her stuff, and Lance, he's her camera guy, and the two of them just make an amazing team. And it literally took probably 4 hours to shoot the entire video.
wow. Did you have actors in that movie?
Yes.
So they got everyone together and shot it?
Yep. She had everything ready to go. I wrote a script for her. We had talked several times back and forth about ideas, and I had written this script, and I said, this is my idea for the video. And she come back, and she was just like, man, I don't think we can do that. And I said, well, why not? And she said, because it's just too heart-wrenching. This is scary stuff. Are you sure you want to put something out there this powerful, you know? And I said, yeah, there's a purpose for that. And she got behind it. She said, let's do this. Let's try it. And it just came out absolutely beautiful.
Now, when you say it took 4 hours, but I know that it took dozens or hundreds of hours in preparation.
And I'm not sure how many hours she spent preparing, but I know it took some editing time, quite a bit of editing time to get it just right, because you know how it is when you're working with pros, everybody wants it perfect. It's never good enough. We'll just pick it apart until we have the messages there.
Well, good for them.
Yeah, they're fantastic people back there.
Well, fishing one more time. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, that's the video, of course.
Yep. It's about your father.
Yep. Originally, I'd written that about my dad. There's a funny story to that song. It'd been in my mind floating around. Just the idea of it all. I had worked on 2 songs that I was bouncing back and forth with a producer in Nashville, and we needed a third to finish off the EP. And a guy who I was working with at the time, I was doing the management, he said, hey, man, we need this other song. I said, I'll have it. And he's like, okay, you going to let me know first? And I said, I'll let you know. I sat down and probably about 20 minutes and wrote that song.
Wow.
And I just sent it straight to Nashville before he got a chance to hear it. And we recorded it, and we did the studio work. And when he heard it, when he was done, he was just like, I just can't believe you just pulled that off in a couple of days.
Wow.
And I said, well, it was there for a while. It was wanting to come out.
Great. Well, this is Fishing One More Time with Calvin Rainwater on the Independent Artist Spotlight Show on azradio.live.
And I would just like to give a quick shout out on that. Again, thank you to Sherry, and thank you to Sandy and Lily. They were the actors in that, and also Bo. Great people helped make this video what it was. Looking back when I was young, getting up early before the sun, we'd head down that road to get out on the lake. You had the patience where I had none, and I was a restless little son of a gun. You'd finally get a bite, then I'd scare it away. And I think about you almost every day, and I miss those times we shared on that lake. And I sit real still like I could never do back then. And I still have your old rod and reel. That boat trailer's got brand new wheels, and I just wish you were here so we could go out again. I'll grab the poles, I'll tie the flies, I'll load the gear, sit still and quiet, and I'll wake up early and I won't even mind. I'll launch the boat, I'll cast my line, I'll bait my hooks, sit still and quiet, and you can relax in that warm sunshine. We could go fishing one more time. When I reach those pearly gates, I hope that I see a shining lake with a new bass tracker that we'll name Heaven's Sake. And I'll see you and my grandpa, and we'll brag about the fish we caught, and we'll laugh at the one that I let get away. I'll grab the poles, I'll tie the flies, I'll load the gear, sit still and quiet, and I'll wake up early and I won't even mind. I'll launch the boat, I'll cast my line, I'll bait my hooks, you'll be just fine, and you can relax in that warm sunshine. We could go fishing one more time. We could go fishing one more time.
Music news of the Valley. azradio.live will be at the Return of the Shred-Eye event next Thursday, March 21st at the Rogue Bar. Come see some of the best guitar players in the Valley as they show off their talents in front of a screaming, adoring audience. This is a Brian Mogul production. Next Saturday is Rhythms House's very first show on the B-side here in our studios, featuring the band Pasadena with special guest Via Linda. Show begins at 7 p.m. Tickets are on sale for $10 for the VIP seats and $5 for the cheap seats. Also, Big Mike's recording studio is open for business, able to record anything from solo acts to classical to punk to metal. Contact us at info@kirkstudio.com. Black Horse is bringing their hard-driving, foot-stomping, shakin' rock and roll to tailgaters. Don't even think about saying you can't make it out. Show is Saturday, March 16th at 9 p.m. at Tailgaters Sports Bar and Grill. And that's edition of this music news for the 14th day of March of 2019. English is a tough language for me. No, I'm kidding. Tongue twisters, it seems. That's just a beautiful song, and that brings us to my favorite song. But before we give the title of that, you had a childhood. You've been playing since the teenage years of guitar and writing.
I started playing when I was 8. Not that I'm any good. I just started then.
Oh, okay. And you were in a small town?
Yep, grew up in a small town. Times were different then. I like to tell people this was long before the internet, and we used to learn to play guitar by Mel Bay books or whoever you could find to teach you. So in that small town I grew up in, all of the musicians knew each other. We would seek each other out to steal, beg, or borrow, or learn anything we could from each other, and we had our own little brotherhood in that town.
Mm-hmm. Now, to put this in perspective, are we talking the 70s or 60s?
No, I'm not that old. The
80s. 80s, okay, 80s. Well, I'm that old. I'm definitely that old. So the 80s, wow. That was just phasing out rotary phones, I think, at that time. Now, you mentioned there was something that made you move to the city, the big city. What was the catalyst that brought you to Phoenix?
The biggest thing that brought me here was the death of my brother.
Okay.
It was time to get out of a small town. I knew there was no opportunities there for me to grow and develop and work. It's just a small town that relied heavily on tourism. And when my brother died, I needed to be down with my family. And so I left the small town and moved down here.
Was your family from Phoenix?
Originally, we were all from the Valley area.
Okay.
I was born in Phoenix, but things were tough. At that time, my mother's mother, my grandmother, was battling cancer.
Okay.
So my mom and dad decided just to leave and be down there with them, and I was up there by myself.
Okay. What is this small town's name? Do you care?
Sholo. Yeah, Sholo.
Okay.
Sholo, Arizona.
Sholo.
It's a lot bigger now than it was back then.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Well, song 3. Now, I want to definitely spend some time on this song because I've had the pleasure of listening to it on our station. And wow, the words are just so contrasting. You go from one contrast to the other and you blend them together to have one singular meaning. And it's just so beautifully written. Wow. How did you create that song? Because that's my favorite song, Sinners and Saints.
I don't know really how I created it, how I came up with it. It was really a duality in myself. I guess how I see people. That song talks a lot about it's kind of pitting one against the other. And I think we all see that. We feel that. We know those experiences. And so how do I deal with this? It's about life. To me, it was about life, just a struggle. Where do I fit in this crazy world with God? I have one person telling me I'll never be good enough. Another person telling me I'm great, and reading scripture versus what people say versus what the churches. There's a lot of movement about the churches in it, pushing people away from their beliefs instead of pulling them closer. And just the struggles of life, what we go through, how we become better people.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Listen to these words by Calvin Rainwater. This is Sinners and Saints on azradio.live.
I found peace in the bottom of the bottle. Well, I found regret in a new sunrise, and I found shame looking straight in a mirror, and I found truth in a best friend's life. And I found faith in a loaded pistol, and I found redemption in a stranger's bed, and I found hope betting pocket aces, and I found fear right in my own head. Well, I weigh the complaints between sinners and saints, and I can see they're all the same. They say I should love my brother while they backstab another, and they do it all for personal gain. It's alright to make a living off of other people's giving if you do it in his holy name. It don't matter how you figure, better relearn your scripture, 'cause the devil's not the one to blame. Am I a sinner, or am I a saint? Well, I found hate in the words of a preacher, and I found wealth in a beggar's eyes, and I found joy in the pain of another, and I found sorrow in the best of times, and I found strength in a moment of weakness, and I found forgiveness in a judge's words, and I found love from a man called Jesus, and I found judgment through the doors of a church. Well, I weigh the complaints between sinners and saints, and I can see they're all the same. They say I should love my brother while they backstab another, and they do it all for personal gain. It's alright to make a living off of other people's giving if you do it in His holy name. It don't matter how you figure, better relearn your scripture, 'cause the devil's not the one to blame. Am I a sinner? Or am I a sinner? And I found lust in a married woman, and I found freedom inside of a cage, and I found trust in the arms of a cheater. So am I a sinner, or am I a saint? Am I a sinner, or am I a saint?
Calvin Rainwater. This week we are proud to have added Mex-style music of Carlos Rivas. Yes, I'll take salsa with that. And local artist David Simmons will be sending us music. He sent us music. He, matter of fact, took over our station with his request. Thank you, David Simmons. Good music. And azradio.live has added the music of Break the Robot. It is horn section with guitar. It's amazing music. Go to www.azradio.live to request. If you've got original music and you'd like the world to hear it, then send it to us at info@azradio.live. And that's the newest music on azradio.live. Now, you mentioned this fourth song is a made-up story. What is the story that, I mean, you created the story in your mind about this song, I'm assuming, after that sort of introduction.
The song is, it's the Chloe Marie, I guess is what we're talking about, the song, yep. Chloe Marie.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of people go, oh man, I'm so sorry you went through that with your daughter. And I'm like, no, I didn't. But it's a story of just life. But what actually inspired it was my wife. Her and I had been engaged, and my wife, I brought here from Canada. So we went through the whole K-1 visa process, you know, you probably see that TV show, Fiancé Visa. We weren't like that, ridiculous. Okay. But yeah, we went through that whole process, and it was really tough. And her and I had been talking, and it would seem like she was never going to get here. Just one thing after another would happen, and it was a real struggle to be together. And at one time, we talked about maybe possibly breaking up. And she had had a dream that we had a little girl and named her Chloe Marie. She'd love that name. And as we were going to that spell, these thoughts come back in my mind. Well, what about Chloe Marie? You know, and I'm writing this. It's almost a sad breakup song, but every detail in that song is not really about my daughter. It is about my wife. All those little details about her hair, her eyes, the way she likes giraffe. That is my wife.
I'll be darned.
Mm-hmm. And I just wrote this story about what happened if this, and I asked myself that, and it almost became a full blown book. I mean, the song was too long. It was hard to work with. You know, we knew we couldn't get it radio ready, but at the end of the day, a guy named Henry McNaught in Germany helped me mix it down, and he did a lot of production work on it and a lot of ideas, and we sped it up a little. But when I do it live now, I take it back to a lot of the original way I did it. I like the soft, slow acoustic feel to it.
Mm-hmm. Was this song instrumental in you and your wife being married now today?
No.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if it had that. Well, you're married. You are married.
We are married. Everything did work out. It was just a struggle, just a really hard time.
Wow, a song was created from that. Well, would you like to play that for us today?
Sure.
Okay. Chloe Marie with Calvin Rainwater on the azradio.live.
Actually, I haven't played it in a while, so hopefully I'll remember it.
Okay. Thank you.
Here goes another lonely night without you. Wondering if you'll be back or you'll stay gone. I haven't slept at all this week to speak of, and our little girl wants her mommy back at home. Well, baby, you know how I feel about you, 'cause my love is clear and plain to see. And I don't know what it is you hope to find out there. I just wish it would lead you back to me. So me and Chloe Marie will be fine. I sit and read her those nursery rhymes that she's heard 100 times. She wants to hear them again. We talk about places that we'd like to see. We sit and drink our pretend tea, and we ride our ponies all through Candyland. And baby, I wish you understand that it's hard to play the role of the Tin Man. Well, I wish, babe, you could see our little Chloe. Her dimpled smile, her freckles and curly hair, brown eyes like pies with 2 shades of color, like a picture that I swear I've seen somewhere. And sometimes I just like to sit and watch her. I'll play my guitar, she dances on the floor. And I tell her, pumpkin, you know your daddy loves you. And she says, yeah, but daddy, I love you more. So me and Chloe Marie will be fine. We sit and read those nursery rhymes that she's heard 100 times. She wants to hear them again. We talk about places that we'd like to see. We sit and drink our pretend tea, and we ride our ponies all through Candyland. And baby, it's hard to understand, but I'm not cut out to be the Tin Man. So I'll tuck her in her little bed tonight, and she'll complain that the sheets are too tight. And she'll mad at me if I try to touch her feet. Latched to her blankie and stuffed giraffe I swear sometimes she makes me laugh. Then she says her prayers and sometimes asks of you. And I say she's off in a faraway land, still trying to catch her gingerbread man. But she'll find her race will always be uphill. And one day she'll come tumbling down like Jack and Jill. And what might have been never will.
Calvin Rainwater on the AZ Radio Independent Artist Spotlight Show. Next week, Thursday, March 21st at 7 p.m., we have singer-songwriter Allison LaCour, who comes to us all the way from the great state of Florida. The legendary Mills Inn will be in the studio Thursday, March 28th at 7:30 p.m. Thursday, April 4th at 7 p.m., we have the band Jane in the Jungle. They take the stage then on Thursday, April 11th. We have the Intals. They are a spawn of the Swarthy Pirates and Brian Mogul and Lars Petrini, in case you've never heard of the Intals. And this is only on azradio.live. If you'd like to be a guest on our Independent Artist Spotlight Show, contact us at info@azradio.live. Mr. Rainwater, one thing I do notice when I listen to your music and visit your music page, you're a family man.
Yeah.
And a God-fearing family man. I mean, well, God-loving family man is a better way to put it.
No, God-fearing. I've done it, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I've been in a lot of trouble.
Well, it's good to have both, love and fear. But those are great values.
Thank you.
And it comes out in your music as far as the message you present with your songs. I was going to talk about a little bit about how you recorded your music. It is so beautifully well crafted. Now, you had a guy in Germany doing some of this mixing and all that?
On Chloe Marie, Henry McNaught did the all the mixing and even the master. Well, we got the mastering done outsourced, but he did all the mixing. He did so much of the work. He did the drum tracks. I mean, he's a phenomenal guy, phenomenal musician. And nowadays, you see that a lot in studios. We just bounce tracks back and forth. So it was very tough working on it because he would show me his idea, send me a track. I would re-record a track, send it back to him, and we would chat back and forth online to determine how we were going to build this back and forth. And it takes longer. It's a lot of work. But in the end, it's a lot of fun, too. There's a lot of challenges.
Well, ever since, the Concorde, is no more. I guess that's what we got to do. So,
Right.
Too many blown tires and crashed into buildings. But, remember in the day when Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson collaborated, they said, they were in different parts of the world and they created music. That was back in the 80s or something, Ebony and Ivory. Uh-huh. And they thought that was a big deal. But that seems to be the norm today where people collaborate via internet. Or did you send the tracks over the internet?
Oh, yeah, back and forth. Yeah.
So when you submitted your tracks, were they the tracks that we're hearing with this final recording, are they internet tracks that you just sent and he mixed them down?
Oh, yeah.
Amazing. Is that amazing?
Yeah, I mean, because it's all digital.
Yeah. So it just reproduces the numbers and creates that massive sound
at a much higher rate than on radio, of course, because we need those really high quality files when we're mixing.
How did you transmit them on? Was it on
file sharing?
File sharing, amazing. Is that Gmail?
Oh no, Gmail won't let you do. There's use FTP servers and things like that.
Yeah, it's technical, but I still think that's amazing. You can create an album like that, collaborating across the world and. Making it sound that good. How about did that gentleman? Was he the musicians on the tracks also?
Him and I, yeah. He did, and actually, the funny thing is, even the background vocals. I had a friend of mine, because vocals are the hard part. Mm-hmm. A friend of mine, Emma, helped me with quite a bit of the background vocals, and then my daughter actually sings on part of those background vocals. My real life daughter sings on it.
Okay,
and that's always something cool because I always have those memories of in the background vocals.
Very neat. And your heroes are Waylon Jennings, Jamie, and Chris Ledoux.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And you met Chris Ledoux.
Yes, I did.
And you think he's short.
He was a shorter guy, shorter than I expected. But you have to be kind of a smaller frame guy to stay on those broncs the way he did. You know?
Yeah. He was I heard he was. I mean, I read he was just a legendary rodeos.
Oh, incredible!
Rodeo guy, but also a great artist too, musician,
and just a fabulous guy to talk to. Just so down to earth, and I've told lots of people I've only met him once. It's not like we hung out or anything. Mm-hmm. We hung out for a little bit, but he was so down to earth and so real that he really inspired me more to be part of music, because he was just a family man, down to earth, not the ego stardom thing you would imagine someone of his caliber to be,
Yeah, he had 30. Yeah, he had 30 albums.
Yeah,
30 albums and a top 10 hit. I mean, that's prolific. So, and we were talking about the whole down to earth aspect, that basically it's the love of music and just real people making music.
Sure is. It sure is. And if you notice those three artists that you named, every one of those artists has worked for everything they've got. They're not an overnight success. They put in their time. I mean, they've probably worked harder than anybody at normal jobs, just trying to get heard and sing. Having the big labels shoot them down, being kicked around by everybody, and they've come back and been legends, so to speak.
Wow. And you have something in common with them, that you're doing this as a career.
Yes, as an independent artist, or, well, like in country, they like to call it outlaw, but it's not something you want to be called. I had a radio station call me outlaw, and that usually means they're never going to play your stuff again.
Oh, well, in Phoenix, it means you're going 57 and a 55.
Right.
But, that's really neat. You perform in the Valley. Let's hear, where's your next gig? You're going to be in Miami, Florida in a couple of weeks. That's quite an event.
I won't be in Miami.
Oh, okay.
No, I'll be in right here.
Oh, Miami, Arizona?
Miami, Arizona.
All right. I was going to say that's a trek.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I thought Miami, Florida. So that's.
No, I'm going to go eat some Wiles Mexican food up there. Yeah.
And let's hear it. You've mentioned you've got a new song that you can't play today, but you're writing new material. That's quite a story. I mean, your last EP, what has changed since 2017, since you dropped that wonderful Sinners and Saints EP?
The struggle became more real. Dropping those songs, you set a bar for yourself, a personal bar. And it's like, now I can't write anything that is going to be second. It has to be as good or better. That's just a personal bar. I feel like the reactions from some of those songs in that EP are so powerful that the next one I want to be as good or better. You always want to try to get the message out. So I kind of got writer's block for a while from it. And I think just the stress of the business side of music alone. There's a lot. Artists, we don't make good business people. I mean, you start throwing the numbers at us, you start throwing all the marketing, the work. When it comes down to that business side, that's a challenge, especially when it's something personal to you. And so that dampened me for a bit, but it got me so much knowledge that I think now I'm comfortable with how things are going. So I'm able to get back into that writing, that creative part of it too. And I'm just working on balancing, the business part versus the creativity part, and the actual going out and doing the work part, which is making the money, right?
Yep. Wow, that's great. And, they call me a fan sometimes, a fan of the music. And doing this, I've grown to just love the artists of the Valley. And I got to tell you, as a fan, your voice is the richest and deepest sound we've ever heard in our lives on the station. The bass just resonates. And when you listen to Sinners and Saints, you can stream it. Just do what you got to listen to this great EP. But it is a beautiful voice. It's one of those voices where the guitar is beautifully played, but by gosh, you could just sing and it'd be a beautiful song.
Wow, thank you so much.
So that's from a fan.
Thank you so much.
Well, we have song number 5. You want to tell us a little bit about the Boulevard?
Oh, the Boulevard. Yes, that's another interesting number that I collaborated on. Henry was part of that one also, but Dave Patterson had this really cool guitar riff, and it was it went. is. And I heard that progression, and I said, man, that really fits this idea I have for a song. I had moved to a different part of the valley where me and my wife our kids were older, and we were ready to go on a minimalist movement to get debt paid off and get back to reality. And I moved to a very much a more poverty place than I'd ever lived before. So I got to see right outside my door a lot of homeless people and a lot of struggling people that just really worked hard and struggled. And I was looking through. I was driving home and I seen this homeless man with this sign out there. And I'd done a lot for homeless veterans with rides and stuff like that. And that was a very powerful movement for me. And seeing this homeless guy standing out there and watching how people would look at him, we drove by, and I thought, wonder what it looks like through his eyes, how people view him. And I just kind of put myself in his place to look through his eyes. And I decided to write this song from that first person perspective of being him. And that's where this one came from. So me and Dave and Henry and another guy named Billy Plale, and we put together all the music. Billy played the piano. Henry did a lot of the guitar work. I did the vocals. I wrote the lyrics. And Dave did a lot of the rhythm guitar and drums. So we worked it out, and I said, you know what? I'll never sell this song, and I haven't made $1 off of it. And I just ask people who hear it to think about the homeless veterans and donate to their cause. You know, rather than spend $1 on me, throw $1 in a bucket or tip jar somewhere and help one of those guys, because they need it, you know, especially our troops, you know. And so that's where that song came from. I'll play it for you.
Very nice.
Getting dark as the sun goes down. The lights are turning on in this town now. The sidewalks will be cold tonight. I show my sign to the passerbys, but they won't look at me in the eye. They just look away and hand me very loose change, and it all feels so strange. The paper sack seems to hide my wine, the only thing I have to keep my mind from wandering straight back to you. It's true, but it's alright, it's alright. I'll be doing fine in my time. Maybe tomorrow things will change and the shakes will go away. And I remember when you were my girl. With your hand in mine, I ruled the world. Those days are gone since you moved on. I'm a shadow of the man I was, but I'm not one to try and hold a grudge. And the boulevard is my real home alone. But it's alright, it's alright. I'll be doing fine in my time. Maybe tomorrow things will change and the shakes will go away. For time will ease the pain, or I'll just fade away.
AZRadio.live would like to thank Calvin Rainwater for being our musical guest on our Independent Artist Spotlight show. You can see Calvin Rainwater perform throughout the valley. AZRadio.live is brought to you by Kirk Studio for the Performing Arts. If you want the pros to teach you or your family, then think kirkstudio.com. Okay, Calvin, we're out of here. Ready? Thank you for being our guest. It almost doesn't sound right to go 1, 2, 3, see ya, because after a powerful show like that, it was beautiful.
Thank you so much, Jim.
So, Calvin,
Glad to be here.
Yes, sir, and we'll see you in the big time. Take care.
You too. Thank you.
Okay, that's it. Very nice show, sir. Very professional.
Thank you.
Yep.